Why is it that every time you start to make a little progress financially, you suddenly pull back? Why do you feel guilty when things begin to get better? Have you ever noticed that as soon as you're about to save, invest, or finally get ahead, something happens, and you're right back where you started? Maybe you've been carrying beliefs that were never really yours. Beliefs passed down from the people who raised you. With love, yes, but also with fear, trauma, and survival. There are 3 invisible teachings most of us inherit from our parents. And until you uncover and destroy them, they'll quietly keep you broke. When you clicked on this video, maybe a voice in your head asked, "What do my parents have to do with my money problems? Could I really be broke because of something I was taught as a child? Is it possible that I'm the one keeping myself poor without even knowing it?" Those are heavy questions, and most people never ask them because it's uncomfortable. It feels like betrayal just to consider that the people who loved us most might have accidentally passed down beliefs that are hurting us. But here's the truth. Not all poison comes in a bottle. Sometimes it comes in a phrase repeated over dinner, a judgment whispered about someone successful, a look of fear when the topic of money came up, and all of that got stored inside you. Today, you're going to recognize 3 of the most dangerous beliefs you may have inherited without realizing it. And the last one, the one we'll get to closer to the end, is the one that truly locks the cage. But once you see it, everything changes. I remember the first time I got a real bonus at work, $1,000, not life-changing, but more money than I'd ever had at once. Everyone around me celebrated, but I didn't feel proud. I felt weird, uncomfortable. Inside, something was quietly screaming, "You didn't earn this. This isn't right." That night, I didn't buy anything for myself. I didn't invest it. I didn't even enjoy it. I just gave it away little by little until it disappeared. And I felt relief, like I was back in a place that made more sense. It wasn't until years later that I realized why. In my house growing up, money was never neutral. It was laced with fear, with silence. I'd hear things like, "Money changes people, makes them cold. People who get rich, they lose their values." Or the quiet, bitter comments when someone else was doing well. "Must be nice. Wonder what they did to get all that. I didn't know it then." But my entire view of money was shaped through the lens of mistrust and guilt, not logic. And even though I craved growth and success as an adult, a part of me feared becoming one of those people. So I stayed small. I stayed safe. I stayed broke. The first belief that keeps so many people broke is this: money is dirty. It changes people. It corrupts. Sound familiar? Maybe you didn't hear it so directly, but you felt it. You saw the looks your parents gave when someone pulled up in a new car. You heard the tone in their voices when they talked about rich people. To a child, that's powerful. Little by little, your brain connected success with shame, wealth with arrogance, and money with something good people shouldn't care about. So now, as an adult, you say you want more. But deep down, a part of you remembers all that judgment, and you don't want to become the villain in your family's story. So what do you do without realizing it? You give away opportunities. You undercharge. You overspend. You don't care about money because it makes you feel clean, morally safe. But here's the truth. Money doesn't change people. It reveals them. If you're a generous, grounded person, more money just gives you more range to create good. People with good hearts and clean intentions need money too, especially in this world. Because when people like you stay broke, power stays in the hands of people who should never have it. And once you really understand that, you stop rejecting abundance like it's something dirty and start welcoming it like a tool. And that brings us to the second belief that keeps people stuck in the same exhausting cycle. If I just work hard enough, one day I'll be rewarded. It sounds noble, right? That's because it is, or it was. In a different world, our parents and grandparents were taught that loyalty, long hours, showing up early, staying quiet, would eventually lead to success. And maybe for a while it did. But today, that belief is dangerous. It keeps good people stuck in jobs that burn them out. It convinces you to say yes to more hours instead of smarter moves. It shames you for wanting rest, flexibility, or more money with less struggle, as if efficiency means you're lazy. Here's the catch. This belief makes life feel like a long line. And if you just wait long enough and behave the right way, eventually it'll be your turn. But that turn never comes. Because the truth is, the world doesn't reward hard work. It rewards clarity, leverage, and courageous decision. Of course you should have work ethic, but it's not the engine. It's just the gas. Without strategy, without financial literacy, without emotional discipline, Effort is just wasted motion. You don't get paid for hours. You get paid for value. So the question is, are you building value or just repeating a pattern that was never yours to begin with? The third belief is the most dangerous because it doesn't just shape your behavior. It shapes who you believe you're allowed to become. And it goes like this. Rich people are bad, greedy, selfish, cold, even if you don't say it out loud. Do you feel it? What comes up for you when you see someone post pictures of their luxury lifestyle? When someone shows success, talks about money, or lives larger than you? Is your first reaction admiration or something else? Growing up, maybe your parents made small comments like, "Must be nice." People like that don't care about others. Who knows what they did to get all that? Those little jabs weren't about them. They were about safety, keeping you close to the family's identity. They didn't want you to want too much, to change, to leave. So now, as an adult, you're unknowingly stuck in the middle. You dream of more, but fear that becoming rich might mean losing your values, that your friends and family won't love you the same, that you'll become someone they used to talk about. That's why every time you get close to success, something pulls you back, because part of you believes it's betraying who you are. But that's the lie. Money doesn't make you selfish. It gives you more room to practice generosity. You don't have to choose between being good and being rich. The world desperately needs more wealthy people with heart, empathy, and values like yours. And maybe it starts with you. So now take a breath, because those three beliefs, they weren't really yours to begin with. They were passed down, wrapped in love, fear, tradition, and survival. They came from people doing their best in a world that taught them to be afraid of money, of success, of change. You didn't ask for those beliefs. You just inhaled them. Over years, over dinners, during moments when no one even realized what was being said. So no. You are not broken. You are not lazy. You are not weak. You were programmed. But now, you're aware. And that changes everything. Because here's a truth most people never hear. Just because it came from your past doesn't mean it has to shape your future. You get to decide what stays and what ends with you. You get to rewrite the story. So the next generation doesn't inherit the same chains you wore for years. This isn't just about personal finance. It's about identity, freedom, legacy. And maybe, just maybe, the moment you let go of who you were told to be is the moment you finally become who you were always meant to be. Remember what I asked you earlier? Why you feel guilt when things start to go right? Why success feels unfamiliar, uncomfortable, like it doesn't belong to you? Now you know. It was never just about money. It was about identity, the silent programming you didn't even realize you had, the invisible ideas passed down from people who loved you deeply, but didn't know how to love wealth or welcome growth because they never had the chance. But you do. If you've made it this far, you're not like most people. Most would have clicked away, buried the discomfort, moved on with their day, but you stayed. And that means something. Because deep down, you know something has to change. Not someday, not when it's more convenient, now. So if this video stirred something in you, if you felt seen or called out, or even just curious to learn more, like this video, leave a comment, not for me, but for you, and subscribe. If you're ready to keep rewriting your story, you can repeat the same loop, or you can break it right here. You don't have to become your parents. You can honor their journey and still outgrow their beliefs. This ends with you, and something better can finally begin.